Thank you for joining us on this edition of Positively Montana. I'm Hallie Schwannard. This week, we're traveling across the state to spotlight people who are going above and beyond, making a meaningful difference in their communities. Our first story takes on a remarkable journey that began January 16th when Governor Greg Gianforte signed Senate Bill 59 into law. The bill officially designates a bridge spanning the Kootenai River in Libby in honor of a fallen Vietnam War hero. That bridge now proudly bears the name of Staff Sergeant Arthur Rambo, a Libby native.
It's an extremely great honor to be here and help the family. Once you're a black horse, you're always a black horse. You're our family no matter what.
Mark Venata served with Arthur Rambo in Vietnam as part of the 11th Armored Cavalry. He was with Arthur the day he died on November 26, 1969.
3rd Hollister, 3rd Squadron of 11th Armored Cav. We were on a mission called Texas Traveler.
Venata and other members of the 11th Armored Cavalry traveled from all across the country to honor Arthur in his hometown of Libby.
Every day. He's in my thoughts every day. It's something that will always be there.
Friends and family of Arthur spoke at the ceremony alongside the banks of the Kootenai River, highlighting the character that defined Arthur.
His wife asked that Artie not be made a hero, that he be remembered for the man he was, which was a caring, warm, dedicated, smart husband, father, son, and brother and friend.
Arthur's younger sister, Patty Rambo, says this bridge dedication makes sure his legacy is always remembered.
I mean, I can be anywhere in the country and they hear my name and, oh, did you know Art? And I went, yeah, he's my brother, you know. And so that's the impact that he left.
She says a piece of Arthur is always with her in their hometown of Libby.
It's going to be hard for me to drive over that bridge, but it brings up good memories, so that's important.
In Libby, Sean Wells, MTA News.
I'm sure you've noticed fields of red, white, and blue at cemeteries across the state in honor of Memorial Day. In many cases, it's thanks to the dedication of local volunteers. Over the Memorial Day weekend, veterans and community members come together to place American flags on the graves of those who served. It's a powerful tribute that shows the community's commitment to honoring our fallen heroes.
Veterans and volunteers continue the time-honored tradition in Butte of planting up to 5,000 American flags at the grave sites of veterans just before Memorial Day. It's a simple yet important show of respect.
I can see a few out there that there's military graves right in sight out there that don't have flags on them yet. So after I finish this little plot, I'll go out that way.
Volunteers got an early start the Saturday before Memorial Day, planting a flag on as many veterans' graves as possible at all of Butte's cemeteries. Vietnam veteran Tom Munzer has one simple reason for coming out each year to do this.
They stand by you, you stand by them. That's what it boils down to.
Dozens of volunteers walked among the headstones of the local cemeteries looking for signs the person buried there was a veteran.
It's a lot of effort to get out here with all these flags. It's nice to see other vehicles coming in though and helping us get these flags out.
The Butte VFW has been organizing this event for decades to acknowledge the contributions and sacrifices all veterans made.
They came from people willing to stand up, pick up their muskets, and protect the land. If we forget the ones that we owe our existence as a country, we might cease to exist as a country.
A few hours of planting flags makes it all worth the effort when they're done.
Well, when it's all done, you look out here and you see all the red, white, and blue, you love it.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
When we think of donations, we often think of money, food, or even blood. But at one Montana medical facility, a new kind of life-saving gift is making a big difference: breast milk. Mothers can now donate to help nourish premature and vulnerable NICU babies. The program's first donor says she knows it's having a powerful impact.
The more donors can donate their milk, the more we as the milk bank can assure that milk can come back to Montana babies and to the hospitals in Montana.
Community Medical Center officially launched its milk donation program, the second program in the state, by partnering with the nonprofit Northwest Mothers Milk Bank.
It was a quick phone call interview just about some lifestyle stuff, and then about a week later the blood draw just to check things out, and then a week post that was officially a donor.
And on May 21st, the first donor brought 400 ounces with her to be used at the hospital.
So my son was actually born late preterm, so at 35 weeks. He's 15 months now and decided he's done with breast milk, but that left us with this big excess in the freezer.
The donated milk is pasteurized for safety reasons.
We'll check for lots of infectious risk factors to make sure that those aren't present, as a risk for the infant.
And since Community has a bustling NICU and delivery unit, having a local donation center is vital for infants needing nutrients.
It can save their life. It can also help optimize mom and baby's journey as they're just starting out in life.
And for donors, it's free of charge.
Donors are not financially compensated. They are truly altruistically donating their milk.
In Missoula, Emily Brown, MTN News.
We've all heard the phrase, eat local, but that's easier said than done. Just 3% of all food eaten in Montana today is actually grown here. But there's a big push underway to change that.
Rural Montana is the lifeblood of our state.
We are rich in rural communities.
Communities built upon relationships.
We grow and raise a lot of our own food.
Neighbors helping neighbors.
We are the connection.
Go! Through the good times and also the not so good times. In Harlowton, this was one of those days.
It was just the saddest day ever for this community.
On February 12, 2023, fire decimated the historic Graves Hotel, the 115-year-old community landmark reduced to rubble in just minutes.
It was historic. Everybody had a story. Everybody's family came here. Everybody's family worked here. Every person in this community has a tie to this lot.
Jeff Eagleton was among the many who could only watch.
That call that morning that it was on fire, I drove 100 miles an hour for 30 miles to get here to help out and stood in the street over there and cried with the rest of the community.
But fast forward 2 years and those tears have dried. New life has begun to sprout on this hallowed ground, now full of rusty nails.
There is nothing like this in central Montana.
Jeff and his wife Shauna are now trying to restore this plot of land to its former glory, albeit in a new, reimagined way, the foundation of something they hope will last for generations.
That wasn't new. That's Grandma's idea.
That concept is this: a massive community center to be known as the Central Montana Food Hub, a one-stop shop for local ag producers to sell their products, from vegetables and grains to meats and potatoes.
A food hub is a local aggregator. We help the producers get those products to the shelves.
Some of those products will be sold directly to consumers, others to local grocery stores and restaurants, not only boosting the local economy.
Let's create that access. Let's create that market.
But also getting fresh produce into the mouths of Montanans who live in what has long been considered a food desert.
If you're not on an interstate, you're probably not being served fresh, quality, local foods. Western Montana Growers Cooperative, they're the beacon, right? They're the one that's saying it's possible.
The Western Montana Growers Cooperative has set the standard in Montana. A nonprofit now working to create a network of farmer-owned food co-ops across the state.
To really develop a fully fledged food system, regional food system or local food system, it can't be just one farm, it can't be just one food hub.
In the 1950s, 70% of the food eaten in Montana was grown here. That number has shrunk to just 3% today.
Which is a really vulnerable, precarious place to be. That means we are importing 97% of the food that we're eating as a state.
Aaron Austin is with Abundant Montana, the marketing force behind an effort to reverse those numbers.
Food hubs are critical for that.
And the statewide nonprofit has set a very ambitious goal.
I think it's possible that, in 10 years, by 2033, a third of the food that we're eating in state is from Montana. It requires all of us to participate.
Food hubs like this one connecting Montanans with meals, one community at a time.
I'm hoping that it's just duplicated. Like once we do it, this needs to happen in Circle. This needs to happen in Havre. This needs to start happening in these other communities, and then we can start connecting these. I 100% know in my heart and in my mind that this is necessary and going to succeed.
In Harlowton, Kagan Harsha, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana, it's more than just a bike shop. It's a mission on two wheels. A Missoula nonprofit is pedaling towards a big goal, $800,000 to secure its future. Hear how Free Cycles is working to keep community, sustainability, and cycling alive. Stay with us. Welcome back to Positively Montana. A Missoula nonprofit known for getting the community rolling is now hoping the community will help keep it moving forward. Free Cycles, a longtime staple in Missoula, has launched a fundraising campaign to help pay off the remaining balance on its property. The organization says it's vital for the future of Free Cycles.
This work is about community coming together, fixing bikes, reusing, recycling, environmental stewardship, participating in community life.
Free Cycles, a Missoula-based nonprofit, is currently in a fundraising campaign, trying to raise $800,000 to pay off the mortgage on their property in attempts to keep a vital community service going.
We want to raise $800,000 in the next year to pay off the debt on this property and ensure we can stay here and keep doing the things we love and that we think the community really loves.
Bob Giordano, Executive Director of Free Cycles, is one of the founding members and has been a part of Free Cycles since 1996. He has been helping further Free Cycles' mission since the beginning.
We strive to improve the city with putting more people on bikes and making people feel a part of the community. We want to lower pollution, lower the need to drive everywhere all the time. That really hurts community, the planet, and people.
If you live in Missoula, there's a good chance that you have heard of Free Cycles. Not only is it a community staple, it also reaches community members from all walks of life.
There are rich people that come in, there are unhoused people that come in, there are people that don't have a penny to their name, there are people that are so excited about community and reusing and recycling. And it's heartwarming to have everyone mixing together and thinking and talking and working together.
And Giordano states that even if you are unable to donate, there are other ways you can help further Free Cycles' mission.
The community can give us their extra bikes. The community can come and volunteer. The community can bring us extra tools. The community can spread the word. The community can walk and bike more often.
If you're interested in donating to the campaign, you can find more information on our website. In Missoula, I'm Zach Volheim, MTN News.
Local artists play a vital role in shaping our identity, economy, and soul of the community. A Butte-based artist is changing the game, using a vending machine to add an element of surprise for those purchasing her artwork.
Somebody hears the turn, their eyes kind of go to what's happening, and then it's like when one person gets a mystery and a surprise, everybody else wants to get a mystery and a surprise.
Chelsea Smith has been making art for 2 decades. Her work is illustrative with bold, bright colors that portray themes of spirituality and femininity.
There aren't a lot of sad themes in my art. I really believe in making art that makes you smile, makes you excited.
Chelsea says the art vending machine reminds her of the excitement she got from vending machines in her youth that dispensed bubblegum and stickers.
Fun is the main thing that I want to convey, is fun, whimsy, nostalgia, all of those things.
It's hard to pinpoint when the art vending machine movement began, but American artist Clark Whittington first created his Art-O-Mat machine out of an old cigarette vendor in 1997. His idea was so popular that the refurbished art machines can be found in 200 locations across the U.S., including spots in Billings and Bozeman. Chelsea says she has always dreamed of having her own art machine.
So for a long time, I've had the dream of having an art vending machine. But I'm just a girl. Vending machines are big, they're heavy, I don't have a truck.
Her tabletop machine, made by a group of artists from Louisiana, is mobile and can easily be displayed in local businesses or during events For the curious art lovers who like to be surprised.
So that's the main thing that I want to kind of offer is like a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit of mystery, totally fortune cookie vibes. Yep, mystery art, tarot, fortune cookie, we love it. Yes, yes.
In Butte, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
Still to come on this edition of Positively Montana, from the headwaters of the Columbia to the Pacific Ocean, some Butte students are diving into lessons about water, pollution, and protecting our planet. How a new science festival is helping young minds become future environmental stewards. That story right after the break. Welcome back to Positively Montana. A new festival in Butte is helping children learn important lessons about stormwater and watershed. It's through a nonprofit that uses hands-on lessons in science and history to help kids learn more about their environment.
At a new science festival, some Butte students are learning about watershed and why it's important to keep our waterways clean.
Butte is the headwaters of the Columbia watershed, so we have a lot of responsibility. Everything we do impacts somebody downstream.
Raylyn Brandel is the executive director of Ripple, the organization hosting a new festival that is celebrating the cleanup efforts that Butte students participated in over Earth Day.
We're learning about like water, the pollution, all the animals there, and how we can help.
Through a series of games and demonstrations, students like Harlow Foley are learning how water moves along the surface of the earth and how it interacts with plants, animals, and humans.
I think that the world needs to know that water needs to stay clean and people need to take more care of it, because if they don't take care of it, then they're not being healthy and they're not letting our animals be healthy.
Harlow Foley and Kensington Dunn are joined by 230 kids from across town who are learning that only rain should go in stormwater drains because all water on Earth is connected.
If you learn at a younger age, you're gonna remember as you get older, and you can tell more people as you grow.
We know that all water is connected on Earth, right? So anything that goes into our creek can end up in the Columbia, can end up in the Pacific Ocean. So we want to make sure that we're doing our own individual part to contribute to keeping stormwater clean.
In Butte, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
Education can look different for everybody. At Belgrade High School, some students are trading textbooks for tools, and one senior's hard work and trades program is paying off.
When you think of high school signing day, you might think of student athletes signing to a big university. However, here at Belgrade High School, they're doing things a little bit different. And for one teen, he traded turf for tractors.
I guess it's just easier for me because you're not just like sitting there in a desk reading a book or whatever.
Thomas Main is what you could call a hands-on student. Instead of the classroom, he spent most his time on a shop floor, learning the ropes at Frontline Ag through the Panther Trades program. Now that hard work is paying off. The Panther Trades program lets students take classes in the morning and work real jobs in the afternoon, giving them hands-on experience before they graduate.
It's nice because, I mean, it's not just focused on like certain stuff with like the athletes. It shows that you can do whatever, honestly, even if it's not as nice to actually do. It's a lot more dirty work.
Tuesday, he officially signed with Frontline Ag. With the support of the company, he'll be heading to Walla Walla Community College in Washington this fall to train as a certified John Deere technician. Randy Radke leads the Panther Trades program. After nearly 3 decades at Belgrade High, he says this kind of learning makes a real difference.
Industry that is hands-on, and they're learning things during that I, as a woodworking teacher, as a classroom teacher, can't teach them. And it individualizes that opportunity. And it does keep some of our students in high school, which is very important.
When I asked Thomas if he was nervous about the cost of college, he was honest.
Family has helped a little with the little fund for it, but it's not going to pay for all of it, so stuff like scholarships definitely helps.
What he didn't know, that answer was the perfect setup for a surprise.
So he wanted me to shake your hand and tell you congratulations. He got the biggest scholarship that they give out, so they're very proud of you.
Sweet.
Okay.
Thomas is the first Belgrade High student to receive the $10,000 Bison Scholarship, funded by Mr. Robert Bell and his colleagues, helping this future technician take the next step. And for Randy, who's watched Thomas grow in the program, the moment meant just as much.
Happy to see the trades and the hands-on get the recognition that they deserve.
In Belgrade, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
34 trees were planted at Pleasant View Park on Wednesday, largely thanks to the Enterprise Mobility Foundation.
This is my passion. I love this.
The Enterprise Mobility Foundation, funded by Enterprise, the rental car company, provided $6 million through the Arbor Day Foundation for planting trees across the country, including both Missoula and Hamilton. For Patrick Plantenberg, chair of the Montana Urban and Community Forestry Association, this opportunity is more than just planting trees in the park.
It's helping the city recover from that storm damage that took out like 600 trees last year. So it's very important that way.
After the July windstorm in 2024, recovering the trees that were lost has been proving a challenge in the current political climate, especially as the city of Missoula is unable to provide funding for the effort.
All of the federal funding that we had received across the country, we had got $1.5 billion under the Inflation Reduction Act to plant trees across America. All that money has been frozen now by the federal government.
Anytime we can get a tree in the ground is a big deal. And I think that we love small wins and big wins. This is a big win today. I mean, we are putting a significant amount of trees in an area that could use more and did lose a lot in the last July 2024 windstorm.
Jeff Cohn, rental manager for Enterprise Rent-A-Car, told MTN that oftentimes multi-billion-dollar companies get a bad rap and that it is important to them to show that they are involved in their community and give back.
Being able to come out and participate ourselves, get away from our busy days that we have, and be able to come out and give back, lead from the front, it feels great.
The Enterprise Mobility Foundation has the goal of planting 50 million trees across North America and Europe, and so far they planted 19 million. In Missoula, I'm Zach Volheim, MTN News.
We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Positively Montana. I'm Hallie Schwinnard, and we'll see you right back here next week.